Hello guys, back with the file journal. We're going to put it together now that we've got it all folded like it was supposed to be folded. This is a little tricky, but like I said before, and this is part 2. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate with double-sided tape. But you can use your glue if you want to, once you feel confident or whatever. Also, I've already got the double-sided tape on the first portion that we do first, so that you can see exactly where it goes, and so that it won't take so long to do the second half, so we don't, have the video too long. I want to get you through the tape and glue portion of it. Okay, and then we'll stop at that point and we'll start decorating at the next point. Okay, now, you know how we worked from the back before. Also, if you need to pause the video and look at what's going on. Another thing that makes this easy is if you will just take lightly with a pencil and kind of draw a line where you need to put your double-sided tape. You won't have to do that with the first one we're going to do because I've already put the tape there, but I will explain it to you. So let's take the very first one, which is the one in the front, has the big tab here on the side. All right, now if we opened it up like this, see, here's where the fold is that we had to add. Remember? There it is. This is the front part of the book. See, you see the pages there. Okay, so what we're going to do, this portion that we changed the fold on, remember we had to change the fold down to right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, this portion right here that we had to fold, the folded portion, where the old lines were, and we had to make this third line in order for everything to come out correctly. Okay, this portion right here is going to be a top loading pocket. Okay. Now, this is the front. So what we're going to do is pull the front all the way to the right so that we're on the back. Okay? And the reason that we're doing this is because right here is the fold. See right there? That's the fold. Now, you don't have to put glue right here, but I did because I want the fold to be flat. And it has a tendency to want to kind of, stick out a little bit. So, if you get 1/4 inch or less double-sided adhesive, you can do it with adhesive. A lot of people don't like to use adhesive on their journals because they feel like things stick to the adhesive. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you how to do it like this, and it's less messy. It won't take as long. Now, I did mine with glue. Are you ready? I'm going to show you mine. This is going to be my design team, the start of my design team. So I glued everything together here. I even added a fabric binding. See, I'm going to go up a little closer and let you see. This is Tracy Fox's Christmas collection, and I used music sheet and I inked with blue, and I'm going to turn and show you. Right here is the pocket we're going. The reason I'm showing you this is I want to show you what we're doing. Right here is the pocket we're going to work on. See right here? See the top loading pocket? Now, what I did was I glued right here, and right here, and I left this top portion open. Simple, right? We do it all the time when we make pockets. Down the right, down the left, cross the bottom. That's what I did, and I ended up with this pocket on the top. So we're going to do all 3 of our folders. We're going to glue this portion of all 3 of the folders before we move on and do our side pockets. I'm going to show you the side pockets. That's the top loading, and then after the top loading, you will have a side loading. This is the side loading. See? Simple, top loading, side loading. You can choose how many top loading and how many side loading you want. It's completely up to you. Now, right here is where they all got bound together. You notice I've got this sticking out. I wanted it to be 2 inches. I didn't want any tightness in it. It's going to be loose, see? And that's okay. I don't care. I might even hang charms on here. I haven't decided. But anyway, I'm going to put this away. If we have any questions, we can come back. Okay, so you're on the back side. Let's go back and I'll show you one more time. This is the front of your first page. This is the top of number 1. Okay, so just pull out to the side. You've got section 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is all on the back. Okay, except for this part right here. That's front. Okay, so we're on the back right now. This is the fold. Okay, now I have put the double-sided adhesive on so we don't have to worry with it, okay? Now, the best thing to do after you put your double-sided adhesive on, you want to really take your score knife and really burnish it down, okay? And then, let me make sure I have you in camera. And then you're going to take off the paper. You take off all three pieces or 4 pieces, however many pieces you have. You take all of that off. I'm trying to get hold of it, guys. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's when I don't use it all the time, so you want it to cover all of the right side, all of the left side, from top to bottom and across the bottom. So there we go, and it is sticky. So once you attach this to this, wherever you lay it down at, it's going to stay there. So this is what I recommend. Hold this down in the middle, the one that has all the adhesive on it. Fold this back. Well, really, don't even fold it back. Just fold it over your hand. Now, watch behind here. I'm not going to lay it down yet. I want you to hold it up like this, okay? It's still not touching. And we're just going to push down on the fold portion just like that. So that all we do is rub along here, and we're just doing the folded side. And then we're going to go around this corner. See, we're still holding up the left side. And then we're going to go up. And now it's all adhered. And I'm going to show you. And what's going to happen is you're going to have like an upside down T when you're done, if you did it right. Or if you want to do it up like this, you're going to have a regular T. See, like that. Okay, this is the front. So we're going to turn it back down. Remember, the tab is at the front bottom right. Okay, now we're going to open it up here, and I'm going to show you. See, there's your pocket. So this is the time that you take your little 7/8 inch circle punch, and you're going to punch through both of them. You can do it as far down as you want. I personally don't like to do it a lot. And then you can ink it. This way you don't forget which one's a pocket, which one's not a pocket, that sort of thing. Okay? Now, we're going to go back and fold it back like it goes. This is the front of number 1. So set it aside. We're going to pick up number 2, which has the tab on the top right. Okay, now I've already put the adhesive on this as well. So we're going to pull it out, and you're going to see it on the 3rd section here, just like we did before. Okay, going to take off the adhesive. And remember, don't get frustrated. Don't say, oh, this is confusing. If you slow your video down and you really take good notes or pictures, whatever you need to do. I've watched tons of videos on this. And I don't know if anybody does it like I do it, but this is how it worked the easiest to me. But you know, everybody's brain works a little different. And you may come up with a better way to do it. But I know for a fact that this is going to work for you. Hold your hands down on top of the one that has the adhesive. Hold this straight up. Let it fall onto the top of your hand, but not onto the folder. You're going to take your finger and you're going to go right here in the middle. You're going to go up and down. Up and down. And then over, along the bottom, and then up. And now you have it adhered. See? Right there. If I can get my fingers in there. Now we're going to take our hole punch and just center it the best you can. I don't worry about it being perfectly center. If it's off a little bit, it's no big deal. It's just paper. Okay, now, here we are. See, we've got our T this way, our upside down T, and this is where our fold was. Okay, now, take it back to the front. You'll know it's back to the front because you can see where your binding is adhering straight to itself. See, this one's the first, this is number 1 I'm going to show you now. See number 1? There's number 2. Okay, now let's do number 3. Number 3 goes back and they have another tab in the front, lower right. So you're going to pull it to the side, open it out. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. All of these have been burnished, so we can pull the tape up. And this is going to slow down a little bit here in a minute because you're going to learn how to put the tape on for the pockets, which is a little more difficult, but it's not so hard you can't figure it out. You all have been doing crafting, most of you, for a while. Okay, now we've got all the adhesive off. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put our hand here. This is the fold. Going to let our hand stay there. Let our folder fall over. Okay. All right, we're going to put our hand here on the fold. Our finger, I mean, right in the middle. Push up, push down. Now we're going to go across the bottom, and up the left side. This way we know that it's not going to stick to anything that we don't want it to stick to. We're going to center our pocket, ink, and we've got all of our top loading pockets done. How easy is that? I say that now, but the first time I tried to teach you this, I even got confused, and that's why I ended up deleting the video, because it's like, oh my goodness. Okay, so we got 1, 2, and 3. You're going to know that you've got your folders correct because you've got 3. See right there? 2 at the bottom, 1 at the top. Tabs. That's what I'm talking about. It's the tabs. Okay. Now, I have to stop and think for a minute. Remind myself how I did this. Okay. I I've been at the doctor's office all day. And then I went to the pharmacy all day, at least what seemed like all day. And they are so slow. There was a line a mile long at the pharmacy. So I got out and went in, and it was like they were just ignoring me. I was standing there forever, and I thought, I'm going to say something. The pharmacist was doing something, another girl was, and they all saw me. And there was a line of people checking out too, but I was the only one bringing a prescription in. I parked my car, got out, went in, because there was like 10 cars in the drive-thru. And I thought, man, there's no way I'm waiting in that line. Slowest pharmacy in the world. All right, take number 1. This is the front. Now we're going to flip this over, and it's just going to be a page. And this is our top loading pocket. We're going to turn it over. Okay, now this is where we bring in number 2. Okay, so this is the back of number 1. This is the front of number 2, and we're gonna butt them up to each other. Let's do that again so we're not confused. Okay, take number 1. Flip it to the left. Okay. Take number 2 and just put it straight down. Oh, I'm sorry, I got the wrong one. Ignore me. No, don't ignore me. Okay. Number 1, you're going to flip over. Number 2, you're going to leave right side up. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I want you to, let me see if I can zoom in some more. I took a pencil and see right there how I did the pencil? Right there and down here and over here. So you can see the pencil over here too. And back up the middle and back across it. It's almost like, I'm going to zoom back out if I can. Sometimes I think, why is my, there we go. Now, so there I drew a line. I'm just going to hold them together like this. I drew a line here, here, and here so that you would know where to put your, so I did the long one in the middle first, so I'm just going to pull off some tape, 1/4 inch. I'm going to kind of separate them a little bit. You want to put it as close to the edge as you can. Just line it up, press it down as you go, and you don't want it to hang over, so you cut any little leftovers off and throw that little tiny piece away. We don't need it. We're going to burnish them all when we get it all down. Okay, there's that. So the first one you do is down the middle of the front of page of folder 2. Now, the reason this is important, and the reason part of it's on one side and part of it's on the other side, is because if you notice, this is shorter from here to here. See? Although I don't think it's that much different, and this one's longer from here to here because of the tabs on each side. Okay? So this is why we do it separately. Now let's go ahead and do this one on the top. As close to the top as you can without going over. And then you're going to trim it. I don't know if you've ever used double-sided tape. I love double-sided tape. I'm just going to tell you right now. I would use it on everything if I could. Okay. This, when I do scrapbooking, I use double-sided tape on my pictures. I don't want them to come out. Okay, now we're going to do left bottom. Yeah, I want my pictures to be sticking after I die. Well into my great-grandchildren's life. Now, you're only going to go to the very edge. Now I have rounded all the corners. If I had this to do over again, I would only round the let me think. I told myself this. I would only round the inside are the top sides and not the bottom sides, I think is what I had decided. I don't know. I liked mine, how it turned out. So now you're going to burnish. Okay. Now, as we're doing this, the thing that's important about this is we're going to be lining up our spine. Okay. So I think what we'll do, don't take this one and this one off. Well, wait a minute. Let me think. Let's take the big one off, the one in the center first. Okay. And then we'll just lift this one up a little bit. Maybe just bend it over. I just don't want the whole thing to be free to stick, you know? Just bend it over. Okay, now you're going to pick up the left side, which is, you know, this is the front of it, this is the back of it. Okay, and we're going to flip it over like it's the front's on top of the second front. Okay, now you're going to line this up by holding it up on its end. Make sure you only let one side at a time down. You want to know that you're all the way to the edge on the bottom. And then do the same thing over here. Now, get as close as you can to perfect. If it doesn't line up perfect, don't beat yourself up. This is the first one you've done. Now we got to pull the rest of the tape off. And when we do, it's going to come together. Okay? And if you have any sticking out, just like a little bit right there, you're going to just trim that off. Now let me show you. Here we are. This is the first one we glued. That's the fold. Okay, this is the first page, number 1. This is the second page, number 2. Now see, we have a pocket up here, and now we have a pocket right here. See? Seems confusing, but I promise you it's not. You really want to push down, make sure everything is adhering. If you use glue when you do this, you want to make sure there's no glue stuck to anything. And now we're going to flip this over. We have our other top pocket. Cool, right? Now we're going to flip this one over right here and just leave it for a minute. Now this is number 3. Okay, this is page number 3, and I did the same thing here. I took my pencil, I drew right here and down here, and now I'm going to show you. You draw right here with your pencil. This way, if you get confused along the way, you'll be like, now where was I supposed to stick my tape? This helps. Okay, you stick it on in the center of the first one. You want to always make sure your tabs are all in the right places, okay? So we've got our tabs in the right places. There's tab 1, and we're fixing to put tab 2 on. Oh, you know what? I think I did that wrong, guys. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I put 3 instead of 2 on. See right there? But it doesn't matter. The thing is, you would want to alternate them if you can. But I made a boo-boo. That's how easy it is to make a boo-boo. But so you want to make sure. I took the numbers off of mine when I inked it. Don't do that. Keep 1, 2, and 3 on here. Okay? But it doesn't matter because nobody's going to know it but you. Okay, so now we're going to go down the center. Listen, I seriously have made so many of these learning how to do this. Crazy. It's not once the bell rings in your head, it's like, oh, it makes a big difference, because it's like a bell goes off, you know, and you finally figured it out, you know. So I'm going to trim this, because see, that's another reason if you don't want to have rounded edges, you can just, okay. All right, and we're going to get one piece for right here. I have a little bitty piece right here. I'm going to go ahead and stick on this end. No sense wasting. And then right here. It's better to waste a little tiny bit than to waste a whole lot. Okay, now we're going to burnish it with our score tool. And the reason you burnish it is because when you go to take this tape off, sometimes it'll take the adhesive off too if you don't have it burnished. Okay, now we've got our side, our back on this side and our front on this side. So we're going to take the center section off first. Okay. I'm going to give you homework on this one too, so that you will know next time where we're going to pick up at. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pick up the left side and turn it over so that it's facing straight up. We're going to line it up to the bottom. Keep this right side up while you're doing it, while you line up your binding. Now, I've done some where my binding turns out perfectly straight, and I've done some where it doesn't. And that's okay. Keep your right sides up. Now you can let them down. Now, I'm going to show you what I did. That's a mistake. And I went too far out with my tape right there. See? And I think it's because I got those two turned around. So, don't freak. It's not a big deal. We're just going to get my adhesive eraser. And I'm going to see how much I can get off with that. Yeah, it's rolling right off. We will have to re-ink it. But, so I'm just going to get my inking tool. Okay, now we have our whole file together. Now you will see that it's not perfect. If you want it to be perfect, you're going to have to make 4 or 5. That's why I cut a 2-inch wide and I left it kind of here like this, because if it wasn't perfect inside, although I have to tell you, I was very proud. It was perfect. I don't know if you can tell by looking, but it ended up very straight, which I was shocked. This is the first binding I've gotten straight since I've been working on making these. Look at how many I've made. Looky here. Look at all of them. See them? Yeah. They have made me a little crazy. But it's fun. And I'm like, it's not going to defeat me. I'm going to get this done. So this isn't perfect. But don't worry about it, because we're going to cover it with some binding after we decorate it. Okay? Now, what I did is I took music sheet. I'm going to show you what I want you to do for homework. And we've learned this in other classes that we've had on covering stuff. Like when we were covering the flaps of the envelopes. This is how we do it. Now, when you do your paper, I want you to notice. See how your paper is straight? Your paper's always going to be straight. Okay, the edges. It's never going to go out here into your tab area. Never. But what we're going to cover as homework is this tab area. See the music sheet? You're gonna make it. just a little bit smaller than your tab area. And you're going to glue it clear out here so that when you put your paper on, it covers up any edges. Now I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so this is the front. This is number 1. Okay, so remember how we did this with the envelope flap? You can see right here, that's the edge. I want to bring it in just a little bit so that I know that I'm going to have music. And then you're going to go like this, draw around it, and listen. This does not have to be perfect. Mine is not perfect. This is probably the most perfect one. Let me flip over and show you what I mean. Like, look, see what a big space is there? This one's kind of crooked. And you can see where this one went up high. It does not have to be perfect. And so, in some of mine, I had to double the paper because I cut it too short. And that's okay. This one is 2 pieces of paper. I don't know if you could see that or not. Let me get up there. Right here. That's 2 pieces of paper right there. 1, 2, 3 actually. See that line? See that line? Now, if I hadn't have told you that, you might not have noticed it. But, yeah, there's nothing perfect. I've decided this is not a perfect science with this thing. You're going to cut inside your line just a little bit so that you know you're going to have a little border of your manila folder sticking out. Now, don't worry about this part over here because it's going to be covered up with paper. So see how, boy howdy, that's better than any I did on mine. Okay, see how perfect that is? You want to ink it. You want to ink it with whatever color ink you're going to use. Okay. You can always add more ink later, but you're going to ink it right there. Now we're going to go ahead and pull out our glue because I am not going to, you don't need a whole ton of glue, just enough to hold your tab down. Now, flip it over. Always make sure your music notes are up. Lay it on here. If you have any questions, you can ask me, and if I can answer them, I will. But pretty much going back and watching the video over and over, pausing it is the best thing to do. Even if you have to start at video 1 every time just to kind of refresh yourself, you're going to have to buy a whole pack of manila folders, and you will lose a lot of folders. Don't throw them away. Use them for pockets and tucks and so forth. And you will see we're going to do pockets and tucks. Okay? Not tonight, but... Okay, so this one's on. All right. Now we're going to flip it over and we're going to do this back side. And every one of them are going to end up being the same way. You want to pull it in. Make sure the music's under here. Make sure it's straight. Okay. Draw around it. We're doing both sides because now we're working on both sides. We're doing like page after page. Okay, and you just cut just a little bit inside so you have a little bit of a border. Ink it. See how long we've been going here. I'll do one more with you guys. I think you guys are gonna catch on real easy. I have faith in you guys. Make sure your letters are up the right direction. Okay. Remember, if you have a small border on one end and a bigger border on the next end, don't worry about it. Just so long as it's not hanging off. You know, like this one is not perfect. If you look, you can see it's not perfect. I don't care. people aren't going to examine it that close. Now it will slide when it's wet, so beware. Make sure you don't have any glue left over. Okay, now this one's not going to have a tab because it's a pocket. So we're going to flip over here to this side. Now we have 2 tabs here. 1, 2. So we're going to cover this one first. Okay, and then we'll cover this one. This is not as easy, but you can still go underneath. Let me make sure my paper's in the right direction. All right, now we're going to go underneath here. As soon as I figure out how to get it all underneath there, you can cut your paper, do whatever you need to do. Okay, you're going to go up into that pocket, and you're going to see right here that you're going to have to make this a little longer down here. That's where I messed up earlier and had to add the extra piece, was because I didn't cut it long enough to compensate for this right up here. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. We've got our paper underneath, inside our pocket. We're going to go like this, and then we're just going to keep coming down. Just kind of eyeball how much you've got there and just come down a little bit more. Okay, and then, again, it's probably not going to be perfect. You guys are going to beat me up if I don't quit saying that. But you want to kind of round the corner of this one. Let's see if we got it, how close we got. And we may have to modify it as we go along. Okay, what I did wrong here, I should have cut this a little wider because we're going to have to cover it with our paper. But I think if I glue it in a little bit and just give it a bigger border, it will be fine. I need to shorten it just a tiny bit up here. See, like this. Just bring it in a little bit because your paper's going to come along here. Okay? You're going to have to make a few of these all the way through and allow yourself to make mistakes before you ever get it right. It's kind of like, you know, you fall off the horse, you got to get back on in order to learn how to ride the horse. Same thing, learning how to ride your bike, you know, you got to fall a few times when the training wheels come off in order to be brave enough to try it again. Okay, so there's that part. Now we're going to take this. Let me cut this straight because you want your paper to be as straight as possible. Now this time we're going to push it under as much as we can, a little bit more, okay, so that we know for sure we'll cover with our paper. We're still going to have to cut it a little bit longer. All right. I just did that wrong. We need to fold it over this way. Okay, there we go. We're going to draw it on the back side. Now I'm going to come up here a little bit more because I've got to allow for that. Let's go like this. Up here, we're going to allow for that little extra piece down there. Hopefully I allowed enough. We're going to round this also down here as much as we can. Now let's see what we got going here. We'll have to erase. Oh my gosh, look how perfect that is. Patting myself on the back. That's probably the first one I've gotten pretty close to being perfect. Now, I don't need that much excess, so I'm going to cut that off. Okay, now I'm going to ink it. You want to make sure your font is facing the right direction on your music sheet. And flip it over and glue it. Now, I want you to finish the music sheet, all the different ones. I mean, we're real close to being done. I'll just go ahead and do these with you. And then I want you to put your paper on your pages. Now, to put your paper on the pages, You're not going to use music sheets. You're going to use actual paper. Okay, so disregard that this is music sheet. But you're just going to measure from here to here and from here to here. You don't, like this is your paper. You want it to be on here like this. Okay? You want it to lay across this music tab like that. Let me show you. See? Now, in here you can tell a little bit more. You're just going to leave a little border of your file folder around every side of your papers. So you just measure from here to here and until you get the measurements right. Once you get the measurements right, write them down and do every page that way. See, because here we go. Now, when you get to this page, because the tabs are weird, and I don't know if I did it wrong, but for some reason this one turned out smaller, and that's okay. I don't care. And I rounded that, and I shouldn't have. I think it would have looked better square because this is square. You learn as you go. Now see, whoa, you see here that this is square, and so it just looks better. This one's a little bit more narrow too, because when the small tab is toward the inside, it makes your paper smaller. So you're just gonna cut it to fit. Nobody's gonna notice. This is how the videos were that I looked at. So, so I know that I did that part correct. Now, we're gonna flip this page over. We've got a couple more to do, so we'll do them real quick so that it'll be easier for you guys. Now, this is a long one here. Let me see if I have a whole sheet of music. So you might be better off to use a whole sheet of music to do that one. You should see my desk. It looks crazy. Okay, so we're going to go all the way under as far as we can. And remember, we're going to have to cut it a little longer in order to compensate for that up there. So, right here is the one we're concentrating on right here. Now we're gonna go like this. I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see. And I'm gonna mark, let me think. I'm gonna mark right here. This is just a hoping that you get it right kind of thing. You want to cut down on this end a little longer. Okay? So we're going to come down here. And really, I did that totally wrong. I'm telling you, girls. Let me see. Because it's all one piece, it came out. Let's start that over. Okay, so we're putting this under. This is what you call learning as you go. As many as I've made, I'm still, yeah, see, this should have been underneath here. That's what I did wrong. Okay, so let's do that. Let's put it under here. And remember, we can go ahead, since we've got this one, we can go ahead and bring it up here. I'm gonna push it over a little bit more since I already cut on the other one. This one's actually easier because you can see where you need to cut. Do you know what I'm saying? You just draw past it. We're going to straighten this up right here because if we don't, it's not going to come out right. So you're going to cut just a little bit smaller. Where your lines are. You just play with it. If you have to piece it the first time, I did. I had to piece mine. And if I hadn't have told you, you might not have noticed. Right? So don't worry about it if that happens. And just remember that this isn't going to be the first one you make. You know, now that you're learning how to make it, you can make several. I thought this would make great Christmas gifts. Okay, so we're going to go like this. We're going to put this inside here. And remember, this isn't going to fit. So what we're going to have to do, because this is glued up here and this is glued down here, I'm just going to tell you what I think might work is that we put these on before we glue all the pages. And I'm going to try that the next time. But, because we can't get that down in there. So, we're going to work with what we've got. We're going to have to piece it. That's why I had to piece it. So, this part's okay. This part's okay. We just want to make sure we go under as far as we can. We're going to have to go like this and cut this part off. And don't anybody give me ugly comments, okay? Because I'm learning too. Because last time I had some ugly comments, but not from my faithful subbies. Okay, so right here, we're going to go like this, leave a little bit of a space. Now see, this is hanging down because this part's up here. So I'm just going to flip it over. See right here on the back? And that way we can just take that little piece and put it wherever we want. Just do the best you can. Okay, now, where did I go? Or where did it go? There it is. Okay, now, I'm going to put it in like this. The best we can. Go in through the bottom probably is the best way to do it. Yeah. Now, and push it up as far as you can. Got to pull this out because it's not straight right there. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to draw here because I want to curve that a little bit right there. And I'm going to curve it right here. Just kind of feel under it. You can feel where the tab is underneath. Okay. And then I've got this little piece of scrap right here. I'm gonna glue down here when I'm done. Just gonna piece it like a puzzle. Piece it like a puzzle. Yeah, this would be lots easier to do if we did it before putting it together, putting our glue on there. Okay, now, let's see if I got it right. We're fixing to find out. Put a little bit of glue on there. And slide the bottom part in first. Try to be as gentle as you can so you don't get glue all inside your pocket. There you go. That part went right in. Let's see if I can slide this back a little bit. There. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Okay, now, as far as this goes, I mean, you could leave it, but I'm just going to kind of go like this and even it up, and then draw straight down here, and I'm going to know that it's going to just butt up against there. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's okay. I don't have a problem with that. If I can get hold of this little tiny piece of paper. Okay, so it's going to put a little bit of glue on the back. Okay. And I'm just going to butt it up against there the best I can. And, you know, part of me's like, okay, so does it really have to be, if you lift this pocket up, you're more likely to line it up, okay? It's not super easy, but see, now that's not perfect by no means. But it looks better than it did, at least in my opinion. And I'm just going to take this little curvy part right here, and I'm going to see if it will fit here. Right there. And it doesn't have to cover the whole little... I don't know who came up with this, but it had to be an accident the first time they did it. I'm just saying, because it is not an easy project to learn, but it takes persistence. And I don't know if you're like me. I'm kind of one of those people. Don't tell me I can't do it, because I'm going to figure it out. You know? There we go. Now, just look at it with a glance. Can you tell it's pieced? No, maybe a little bit right there. Okay, so now let's go back here. Let me find where the beginning is. Okay, here's the beginning. We've got this tab done. Got this tab done. We still got to do this tab. Did I do that tab? Let me look and see. I don't think I did. I think I only did the tabs that were... No, I did. See right here? Somehow mine's on the other end. But that doesn't matter because... Mercy. It don't matter. Okay, let's put this right here. And this is just a scrap. And I'm just going to bring it down here as much as I can. See right in here, because we're going to cover this with paper. Going to cover it with paper so it's okay. You're just kind of eyeballing and just cutting. I forgot to ink that one. You guys should have screamed at me. Paula! Ink it! Let's ink this one before I forget. The nice thing is you can go back and ink it. It's not going to be that big a deal. Okay, let's put a little bit of glue on here. I didn't take a whole lot of time when I was decorating mine. I was just like, this isn't going to be perfect. I'm not going to worry about it. I hope you guys like this project. I think you will. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge you not to give up. And I want to teach you stuff that is more challenging. I've got to teach myself first, but okay, there you go. Make sure there's no glue under there, and then we're going to ink right here. And I don't worry about the ink being super neat either. And actually, what I ended up doing was I went over the whole thing. I just kind of covered it in the blue. I don't know if you noticed it, but I just kind of inked the whole thing. Okay, now we have one more. Oh, we got to do the other side too. Let me see if I did both sides. I bet I did. Yes, I did. We got to do both sides, guys. Okay, let's just do this one first. All right. Now we're going to lay underneath. Make sure your letters are up. This would be easier because it's just one piece. Just cut a little bigger. We're going to have to hurry because my video is going to time out. Okay. I probably already have people that has shut it off. They're probably like, that woman's nuts if she thinks I'm going to make that. I promise I'm not. Okay. So we're going to add glue to this. Okay. I'll ink them all when we're done, but since I'm going to ink them all down anyway. Okay, so that one's down. And see, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to go to sleep tonight hearing me say that. Okay, let me make sure we got all these others. Oh, no, here's one. Okay, so we got to do this one. And this little one. So let's go ahead and do the little one first. All right. Get my letters up correctly. We're going to need 2 of these because we're going to do the front and the back. Right? So I'm just going to move it over. No, wait a minute. I'm going to put it like this. This one's going to go on top. Let's do them one at a time. I don't want to confuse this whole thing even more. Listen, today I was proud that I finally figured this crazy thing out. And I thought, man, everybody's going to love doing this because it's different and it's fun. I don't think there's that many videos out there on this project because it is not easy. It's not. It is not easy. Okay, so now we're going to go like this. We're going to draw around this side. And remember, we're going to cover these edges with our matted paper. So instead of this being your homework, if you're not finished, you of course need to finish this. But I want you to, let's see. I want you to, I want everyone to do their matting. You know, at least cut them out, even if you don't glue them down. Cut out 1 or 2 if you're not sure. Don't cut them all out, but you can go back and look at my book. But we'll mat this one that I've got right here on video. Now, I made that a little bit too big, so I'm going to have to go through here and trim it while it's still wet. I'm going to lift it up and just trim around. I got a little crooked. Of course I did. It's all right. That's the thing I like about this too, is there's perfection is not a big deal. Okay, now let's flip it over and see what we got left to do. I think we have that one right there. Let me get to the beginning. I gotta find the beginning first. You'll know you're at the beginning when you have a tab on the bottom right, but also that when your binding is all right there. Okay, this is the last one we gotta cut right here. Okay, now we'll be able to get it up in there because this one is lots of help to have it on the right side though. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over and draw on the back. That way it will, it'll be more accurate. Okay, now let's flip it back. Okay. We go, let's see. Always want to make sure you're still a little long. I think this should be perfect now. Yeah, I wouldn't call it perfect, but it's close. It's better. Okay. This is the last one, and then we're going to go. If you enjoyed this video, you guys give me a thumbs up. Please don't leave an ugly comment. If you didn't, just keep it to yourself. And you don't have to make one. But I know most of my subbies would never do that. I know that you would encourage me to just work on it until I get it correct. And I can assure you, I will. And I want you guys to do the same thing. You might have to make it more than once. But, see, that was off pretty much there. Let's see if I can trim this a little bit right here while it's still wet. I cut it too straight, but you could piece it right here if you wanted to, because nobody could tell. Just FYI. There we go. Now, if we had glued these on prior to putting our book together, which is how I will do it the next time I make it, and I will make this again. So you got to learn, because someday I'm going to pop up and say, all right, we're going to do a file folder today. And you're going to go, ugh, not again. So make sure you get all your glue off. Make sure you ink all of your little tabs. I'm going to ink them completely because I like that look on the file folder. And so if you enjoyed today's video, give me a thumbs up. Tell your friends about me. And when we reach 1,000, don't forget that I'm going to come up with a gift. I don't know yet if I'm going to do a traveler's notebook. I don't know. I don't know. So it'll probably not happen until January sometime, once we reach 1,000 subscribers. All right, guys. Hope you had fun. I always have fun when I'm hanging out with you. See you next time. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and the notification button. And that way you'll always know when I have a new video up. See you next time. Bye.